why do you think KK stole Greg from his wife?
Well, I assume that based on what was told to me in regards to me joining the show last year. And I've said that based on the facts that she told me. So the timeline that she gave me was not the timeline that was discussed on Instagram recently. So, I mean, I was just going based off of the information I was given.
So she told you. She told you to. She told you that.
She told me when I joined the show that her and Greg had been together 3 years. And when I asked how long had he been divorced, she said about 3 years. So it sounded like an overlap to me. I even side-eyed it in the moment, but I was just like, okay, because she was actually asking me, well, Jassi, why did you say, that Darius's baby mama had been in the picture for, whatever ample time before you or whatever? Why didn't you just ignore that question like I do? And that's what started the conversation. So that's kind of where it all stemmed from. And I never really brought it up until she consistently had been gunning for me and wanted to talk so much about my life. I'm like, well, you have an interesting life as well. And let's talk about yours. And maybe you can clear up what you told me, which she decided to do now. And as far as I'm concerned, that was the first time that I'd heard her publicly be clear about any timelines in which her and Greg may have gotten together. So just
Do
was going
you
off of what was told to me.
okay, when you said it wasn't told to you, just so I'm clear, you're saying the information that KK gave you, which was me and Greg were together for about 3 years. She then followed up with he was divorced from his wife 3 years as well.
Yes.
Was it your own timeline based on what she said to you that made you come to that conclusion? Or did you hear in the streets that she stole somebody's husband?
No, this was not something that I heard in the streets until after I heard in the streets that that could be true. But when I brought this up, this was based on what she told me. And when you have a moment with your friend and they mention something and you're like, y'all looking at each other like, and then you kind of just skim past that information because it was a little uncomfortable. That's how the situation had played out. And so when she kept wanting to talk about 15 minutes this and 15 minutes that, I'm like, well, you know what? In fact, let's talk about a lot of things that you never talk about. And when you brought it to me and presented it to me, you presented it in a way that you purposely don't talk about this for a reason. So I felt that, somebody keeps gunning for me. I'm going to pull your tea too.
Tea with the King is streaming on all platforms wherever you get your podcasts. I'll see you there.